Hi guys, welcome back to the Stage Performance Podcast. Hi guys, welcome back to the Stage Performance Podcast. Today I got to interview one of my oldest friends, Kiera Marks. Now Kiera and me go way back to Glasgow Clyde College. We used to do a lot of performing together, and at the time I used to be on piano and she would sing, and then she grew into her own career, and it's just been really, really nice to watch her blossom over the years. I was also joined by James Monroe. We all went to college together, so we reminisced about the college days, and we got to find out a little bit about what Kiera's been doing for the last few years. So I hope you enjoy. Yeah, well guys, thank you so much for coming. It's so brilliant just to have everyone in one room again.
It's so good to be here.
I know, I feel like we've not actually been in the same room. Obviously I've seen you individually, like plenty, but like to be in the, I actually feel like I'm right back in college.
Yeah. Literally. It's one of the ones you catch up with everyone on social media and then you're like, actually I've not seen them in so long, do you know that way? Like,
well, just before we started recording, you were saying like you'd sometimes get memories that come up, both of you, and it says like 10 years ago now.
8 years ago, it is actually madness, innit?
This feels like the meet and greet like at a Comic-Con or something for a TV show, innit? Like
I was 22 and you were 17?
Oh, I wasn't 17. No, I was 18
when I was 16.
I was 17. Right, okay, so it probably would have been.
So I would have left at age 19, which is wild, because I still feel like I'm 19 right now and actually like kind of like an adult now.
I feel like we revert back to the ages we were.
When we're together.
Yeah.
No, I totally get that.
Do you guys look back on college quite fondly?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
like,
it was good fun.
I find as well that, right, because see when you're in school, right, so this is my theory of it. See when you're in school, right, and you're into music and you're like good at stuff like that, you don't want to like tell it, like you don't want it to be like known, do you know what I mean? Like you hide it, you like stay in a practice room. But see at college, that was the first time I'd ever been around people that were like into what I was into, and it was so cool because like we were all bouncing off each other and like you didn't need to like hide it the way you did at school, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, like see when you're in school, it's like, I don't know what the girl equivalent of this is, but as a guy it's like you have to play football, you have to act hard and like be able to fight and stuff. And if you're not one of those two things, then you're just discarded.
You have to be on the streets.
Well,
you have to have a gang name.
No, but it's like that whole act hard, play football. That's it. If you don't do that, then you're just kind of cast aside. What's the girl equivalent of that at high school? Is it just
being
kind of
pretty?
Really?
Not being fat.
Being fat.
Not being fat. Like, then you just get cast aside, and if you're either of those and then you're into music, then that's just target for bullying, isn't it? Like,
so music that could be something that people would look down on at school.
I think so. Like, I think it's, look, when you, as an adult, you can be like, it was obviously like a wee bit of like jealousy and like you don't fit the norms, you don't do what everybody else does, so you're do you know what I mean? Like you're not in that circle. So then when you do music, like I remember like, because voice was one of my instruments, so we would go into a practice room with our teacher and like that's how we would practice. And then when it came to like exams or rehearsing for exams, they would make you do it like in front of the class, and you would go from like belting out your songs to like like too scared to do it in front of the whole class. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And then it came to college and I was like, I'll volunteer, I'm up for it, I'll do it.
Volunteers tribute.
Yeah.
Because when I was in school, like, I was very, very quiet in my first 2 years of high school. And one time in second year, we had a student teacher in, and she was making us all do an arrangement of Hey There Delilah. And, you know, just like someone on the glockenspiel hits a note and then someone else, you know, claps their hands or something. And she was going to record it. And then she said, do we have anyone that can sing? And I was terrified. Like, I had a terrible time in my first 2 years of school. So I just kind of went, And then after that, after I sang, like, people were like talking to me like I was a normal human being.
Yeah.
You know? And it was like, and then that gave me the confidence to come out my shell a bit more.
Yeah.
So in my school, music was definitely something that was embraced, I think.
That's
so
good.
It was good.
But maybe it is like a female thing, because I agree with you. I feel like as a guy, like if you did music, it was like, oh, okay, that's a reinforcement we didn't knew existed kind of thing. Whereas like with girls, I think there is such a pressure to kind of conform to like the stand, like you're held more to these strict like standards of the box, if
I
you will.
don't ever remember it being like cool at school to be into music. Like maybe if like a guy played the guitar, like everybody would be like, oh my gosh, look at him. But I don't ever remember it being like, oh, you're like, you never got recognised at school, do you know what I mean? Like even though I was like pure into it. But
It's so funny you say that because I don't know if you'll know about like Dion Hickey, one of the singers I've worked with. She has a very similar story, and she's grown into be one of the best singers.
my first ever gig though was with a girl that was like 2 years above me in school,
Right.
and because I like wrote my cousin in, and I was like, let's put some videos on Facebook, and then just got absolutely slaughtered for them. Cause
Really?
You know how it is. Yeah, like so bad. And then one of the girls like a few years above me was like, oh, I'm working with this promoter who's got a gig. Can you come and fill in the time? And that was my first ever experience of like actually singing for, like, I didn't even sign up for like the school talent shows and stuff. Like I was too embarrassed. I loved it, but I was just too embarrassed to do it. Like.
And what age were you then when you had your first? Was that your first gig?
Yeah, I was about 13, 14 because I remember they snuck me in because it was in the garage, like in the G2.
Oh, yeah.
And I was too young to be there, so they were like snuck me in, and I had to like pretend I was older.
Oh, that's so cool.
So you started performing quite a bit before college then?
Yeah. So I started, that girl, I put a couple of videos on Facebook, and then that girl that was a few years above me messaged me, and I went, and I think I literally just done like 2 songs. Like it wasn't like I was like playing a set. Then I kind of started kicking about like Glasgow City Centre as you do at like 14 years old, 13, 14, and like got chatting with a couple of the buskers, like, because we were all of similar ages, and like I met a wee friend group that we would like kick about town with, and then I remember just somebody being like, oh, do you want to sing a song? And I was like, fuck it. Like, they were like, people walk past you in the street and no one cares. If anyone thinks you're embarrassing, they're gone in 2 seconds. Like, just do it. And I was like, all right, okay. And I'd done it, posted it on Facebook, like, because I was still kind of posting videos at this point. And then that Christmas, my dad got me busking equipment, and I had a meltdown. I was like, put it in the bin, put it up in Gumtree. I don't want it. Like, I am not going to do this. Like, I don't want involved. And then my dad was like, just go tomorrow, right? Like, let's go on Boxing Day. We'll go into the town. He was like, we know that no one goes out shopping on Boxing Day. None of our friends go out shopping on Boxing Day. Let's just go do it. And I went and done it, made an absolute mint. And then I just had to be like financially viable for myself after that, because my dad was like, you're making more money than me. Like, I am not getting involved anymore.
And then at that point, you just need to do it.
Yeah, literally.
Do you know, it's an interesting talking point, right? Because I couldn't for the life of me tell you what the podcast was, but there was someone that said there's a joke. Now, to be fair, I think they were just reading out jokes that were sent in. I don't think the podcast actually believed this, but they said something like, oh, steal a man's wallet and he'll be poor for a day. Teach a man to play an instrument, he'll be poor for life. And everyone there laughed at it. It really annoyed me. But then I hear stories like that, and I think that's just not true. Like, small-minded people don't think there's a lot of money in music, and you hear a lot of people say, oh, you know, there's not a lot. But like, I think if you have drive, there's always a way to build a career.
That was one of the things that the lecturer at college, Alan, he's come up.
Alan.
Love Alan. He's come up so many times.
I don't know why I just did that. I've never done that in my life.
But the beauty of it is that it is there. So if you want to use it, then you can, and you can, and if you want to make money, it is possible.
Yeah.
Do you not feel like it was a bit like I don't know if this was the case in your year, right? But a lot of like some of the best players left in the first year.
Yeah.
And I always felt like it was like a film, isn't it? It made you really question: is this, you know, they're really good players, and you're like, oh, they're all leaving. But like we stuck at it, and we says, no, we're gonna do it, and we're all here doing.
I always found in college, throughout college, like I had the question in my mind, like, what comes after this? Like, and I never got that question like answered, because people like you, Matthew, who are like so talented at your craft, went on to like the Royal Conservatoire, like one of the highest up places that you could go and study music. And then other people were like more interested in teaching, they went on to be teaching. But I was like, I just love doing it for the sake of loving doing it. Like, I don't want to do it for the money. I don't want to do it like to be a teacher. I don't want to be a session musician. Like, I just want to do what I'm doing here forever. And I was kind of like, where do you go after that? Like, and I took time out after college, because I was like, I don't really know where I go from here now. Like, I feel like I am like continually, but at the time I'd like kind of perfected my craft as such. Like, I felt like I was like in that space where I was like, I know what I'm doing now. And then you kind of finish college and you're like, okay, what now? Where does it go from here?
I don't think anyone really braces you for that afterwards. Yeah. Because we kind of felt that when we left uni as well.
We had a similar conversation in the other podcast that we did with just us two. And it was like, what do you do after it? And I totally understand what you're saying. I think it was really enjoyable.
Yeah.
And, you know, we were all, as you said earlier, you know, really good musicians, playing with everyone and just having a great time. And when you leave college, there are a lot of options, and I've always been jealous of people that know exactly what they want to do. And I know you wanted to go to the conservatoire, like you made that goal, and then as you say, there was other people that wanted to go into teaching or be session musicians and stuff. But I was kind of similar to you, but I just I went to university, but then just kind of let it pan out and see what happens and stuff.
Yeah.
See if it puts your mind at ease, because I feel like, it's like, oh, Matthew had this solid plan and what the, like, that had its tremendous amount of flaws that came afterwards.
Yeah.
One of the things that you guys definitely had over me was like you were more dynamic and grounded in life. I think I was very kind of stubborn and like, nope, that's the goal, I'm going to go for it. And I couldn't see it at the time. I think it might have been you I had this conversation with, but a lot of that, have you ever seen Kung Fu Panda?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Okay, where are we going with this?
Where are we going with it?
I promise that wasn't just an ADHD moment. Right? I don't have ADHD, by the way. But there's a bad guy in that called Tai Lung, and he's the guy that wants a dragon scroll. And watching that film made me see a lot of myself. He wanted the dragon scroll for validation. He wanted it to prove himself, like to make people proud. And I actually seen, like when I seen that film, and I understood it when I was old, I'm like, that's me in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like I went to that degree, which probably wasn't the best thing to do at that point in time. But I think I just had a massive chip on my shoulder that I was trying to prove wrong. And then actually getting the thing, it doesn't fulfill you. And then you have to really look inside yourself and say, okay,
what now?
Yeah, well, not kind of, but then you realise in life it's not about what you achieve, it's about what you give to other people's lives.
Yeah.
You know?
I was going to say something as well, but I can't even remember. So
I didn't think Kung Fu Panda would throw people this badly.
Honestly, I just looked at you and then I think I looked at the magazine and I was like, we're not just having a chat over coffee. Like, do you know what I mean?
That's the thing. Yeah.
you can't say things like that, Matthew.
I can't believe
Have you ever seen Kung Fu Panda?
I just swore as well, and that was my goal, was
No,
to not
it's
swear.
You were doing so well.
I know.
This is actually live right now.
Stop.
Are we okay to swear?
No.
Can we swear?
I don't know. I've never.
Swearing is so my
tested it.
vocabulary that I really try and cut it out. And
I
do it
mean,
at
no,
gigs
I think you
sometimes
can
and I'm
swear
like,
if you
And
want to.
really? And
Yeah.
Well, they say that more intelligent people swear.
Oh well.
So there you
What a
go.
lie.
It's not great when you've got a kid though who picks up everything.
Oh my God, does she like copy your phrases and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
Sean literally like, he knocks on and he went, fuck. And she went, fuck. And I'm like, yeah, a chicken says buck. Like,
Oh my God. So what is it you are doing just now, like job-wise?
So I am studying at university to do mental health nursing, and then I also do gigs at the weekends, and yeah, I do a bit of everything. So I've done like princess parties where you go and you like
That's so
sing
cool.
at the kids' parties, but it is mainly just pub gigs now. And sometimes I get a wee bit like, not embarrassed saying that, right? Because music is like such a forefront of my mind, but sometimes I get a wee bit like, I'm not doing it as like a full-time thing now. Does that mean that like I failed in a way?
Right, that's a very interesting point
Yeah.
because it ties right back in. I won't bring up Kung Fu Panda again if it just confuses everyone. Right, but like it's the idea that it's just drilled into you from a young age how extreme success and failure is, and like it's just not the answer. See, like doing something full time and like. I guess we've all felt that individually in our own lives, but like, see, when you just throw yourself into music or you throw yourself into any vocation and it's all you do, all you think about, like, it's not the answer. It's not how to live life. And so if you found a way to balance that in a career that you're actively helping people, and I'm not saying the music doesn't help people, of course it does, but like you're actively in your job doing that as a vocational thing as well. So it's not that you're a failure, you just balance how you help people in life, you know?
Definitely, because it's two things that I've always been so interested in, and I get so excited for my gigs and stuff, and obviously being a mum like at university, it can be quite hard. So see, being able to also like, it's obviously not about the money for us, we do it for what we love, but I've been in a position where throughout university I've also been able to like support myself, do you know what I mean, and support my child by doing these gigs at the weekend. Like there's a lot of people in my position that are at university that have got like these like full-time jobs and they're trying to like juggle everything. It's so hard, but I feel like I'm so lucky and privileged to be in a position where I can do what I actually really, really love and enjoy and is like my proper passion, while also being able to support myself with it, do you know what I mean, like throughout something like university. I think people also think like musicians, like, oh, you're not going to make any money doing that. Like, maybe like, I mean, my parents were supportive, but I know that there is people out there that have maybe looked at me or looked at like other musicians and went like, oh, but like, you can't make any money doing that. That's not like a proper
Just
career. Like,
small-minded.
that's just a hobby. That's just a hobby. But we are walking examples that it can be far, far more than that. Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
And right now we're setting examples of that.
Yes. Well, I mean, this is your saxophone money that we're sitting in right now.
Yeah, literally.
See it all. Like, does the music ever come into your like mental health studies?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I think every single placement that I've been on, I've done something musical. Like I have sat with patients and done one of the obviously need to watch what I'm saying, but I sat with a patient who came into one of the wards I was working in, and they had like quite bad Tourette's, and I'd never like worked or kind of met anyone in person that had Tourette's, so obviously I knew a lot about the condition, and yeah, I was quite like taken aback by it because I'd never seen it in like person before, and obviously you're trying to be so empathetic to like how that's going on, and I remember the patient told me, oh, like I'm going to try and like get a guitar up, and I was like, listen, I've got a guitar in the car, and I remember like the staff being like, don't bring your guitar into the ward, like don't bring your guitar into the hospital, like somebody will break it or like it'll get damaged and all that, and I was like, listen, like I was like, this isn't my like go-to guitar, I was like, this is a spare guitar, and I brought it in and I sat with the patient. And they sang songs and they joined in and like they gave me the guitar to play while they sang. And honestly, for about 2 hours, not one tick, like not one stammer, nothing. Like their Tourette's were like completely gone. And I remember going to my ward manager and being like, did you see that? Like, did you see what? Like, it's so cool. Like how much of a difference music can make. And I really try and like ingrain it into everything. And some of the wards I've been in, it's just been a sake of like lifting people's spirits and like just doing something that's not the mundane, and like honestly, like I absolutely love it. Like, and when I go into wards, like I try not to be like, oh yeah, I'm a musician, because the amount of times people pull you up on the computer, you'll know what it's like any walk of life where that's maybe not the norm and isn't like is a wee bit different, people like look you up and then you're like a wee bit embarrassed by it because you're like, oh like that's my wee thing, do you know what I mean? But I doing it on the wards and doing it with patients, like it has been absolutely amazing. Like I make a point of trying to do it.
Well, you're actually in a great position for that because you literally have a video in which you are completely viral, like in Buchanan Street doing "Son of a Preacher Man."
Goodness.
How did that feel that day? Like,
oh, that was mad. So that was like, I actually looked up. So that was like 5 years ago now. I just tried to find the views on it because I just think that was like
it's over 1 million.
That's crazy, Anna. Like
insane.
That was
your first time busking in Glasgow.
No, that was like
I was about to say first.
No,
Like,
I'd been busking in Glasgow for years at that point, but I knew the person who ran. I knew who was running that page, and every time I busked, I would look out for her, and then I spotted her one day, and I was like, "Come and film me! Like, I love what you do." And we had a wee chat and that, and then I was actually going through my playlist with her, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know what song to sing." I was like, "Let me find a good one." And we were going through, and she was like, "Son of a Preacher Man." And I was like, "Oh no, I've got better songs than that." And she was like, "Do that one." I was like, "Right, okay." And we done it. And it started like was a gradual, and it was like a gradual increase though, because I'd go home and I was like, oh, it's at like this many. I was like, oh, maybe it'll beat whatever mine was back then. Maybe it'll beat that. And then it was like a gradual incline. And then another music page shared it. I think it was like The Music Man or something like that.
Yeah, it was. That's right.
I didn't like know it at the time, but they shared it, and then it just like took off, and I was like, oh my gosh. But I absolutely loved it, right? It was great. Like, I still get, like, people still talk to me about that. Like, people will be at gigs and they're like, did you used to have blonde hair? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, were you on the Buskers of Glasgow page, like, years ago? Like, people still talk about it, which is so... I've still had emails, like, in recent years of, like, oh, can we hire you for something? We've seen you on the Glasgow Buskers page. So, like, it opened up, like, so many doors for me. But it felt a wee bit anticlimactic when you're trying to do your own content and it's not reaching anywhere near as close to that. Do you know what I mean? You feel slightly like disheartened by it, but it opened up doors for me. I absolutely loved that. Like,
when you're trying to write your own music and stuff, they're like, it's not having the same sort of impact.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And it's really difficult as well, I think, when you see something like that take off and it's just you busking in town, like, there wasn't a lot of effort that went into that. Do you know what I mean? Like, that was just me doing my thing. Like, maybe that actually speaks volumes because, like, that was just me in my element doing what I do. And then, like, you put work into, like, making your own videos and trying to, like, match that. And you just feel like you can't. Like, you're striving for something that, like, it's already happened. Do you know what I mean? But it was still a great experience. And, like, I'm still so grateful for that. And it's still up there. Let's go and watch it.
Yeah, go and watch it again.
It's actually quite embarrassing to look back on it because I'm like, I am better now. Like, you know what I mean? You constantly are like...
But see, if it's any consolation, like, what you do, like, becomes more advanced in your head over time for anyone that specialises in anything. So, like, you will naturally look back at yourself and be like, oh, like, we all do it. But the general public won't know or care about the improvements that you've made. They just hear a voice that you're like... I'm not saying they don't care, to be blunt, but, like...
they don't notice it the way we notice it.
It gets to the point where it's diminishing.
Stuff,
It's like diminishing returns at a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody else notices or will care. You really push yourself for you at that point.
Yeah.
Like, because when the bookings start coming in, I think that's proof that you're good enough to actually do the thing. You know.
I know. I was really bad for posting content as well. Like over like recent years, like I just got like really lazy with it. Like I was getting my gigs and like the news was going out about me through like word of mouth, and so I like didn't need to like do any content. Do you know what I mean? So I got like so lazy with it for a wee while after that, I think.
Do you think it was because obviously you were on the street? Someone was it that who's that person?
Caroline.
Caroline, right. Yeah. So she was filming you on her phone. So you weren't in the studio. You weren't, doing a bunch of takes.
Yeah.
No big lighting or anything. Do you like that? Did that add to the charm?
I think so. I think that added to like the authenticity of it.
Okay.
Like that, I think that's what people noticed. Like that was just effortlessly me just like singing on the streets. There wasn't any auto tune or anything added into it. And I think that's what people like to see, like authentic stuff. Like I'm the same. Like we all watch reels and like anything that you think is like remotely fake or like staged or like it's not as good as that.
It's a bit of a turn off at times. And do you think that the genre of the song was also a big...
I think so.
Or the song itself?
Yeah, I've actually never thought about that, but that makes a lot of sense that it was a well-known song from like a decade ago or...
Oh God!
No,
quite a while ago.
No, it was more than
quite a while ago.
Yeah, like from the era of like older people. Like oh my gosh, that sounds so bad. You know what I'm trying
No, I know what you mean. It's a classic song.
It's a 60s song,
This
isn't
podcast
it?
is over.
60s.
Did we not?
I know.
Is it not like? Did we not do it at college?
We done it at one of the.
One of the students
Was it Soul?
mixed, I think, something. One of the songs. There was like a sample. That's how I knew the song. It was like do 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 do.
No, we did do Son of a Preacher Man at a gig.
I know we did.
And I think you played the piano for it.
I don't think I think it must have been you two that were doing it.
I sang it.
I can't remember.
Sorry,
if that
Matthew,
was...
did you get patched out of that
Sorry,
band?
guys.
Right?
You weren't there. No, yeah. So the genre, maybe the type of song, the situation, all that sort of stuff. But there's not really a magical formula, really.
No, definitely.
To try and go viral.
And that can be one of the frustrating things, like you're saying, because you can't recapitalize it. There's not like a winning formula that we know of. It
I've
just
started
seems
trying
to
to
be.
focus on like not when I'm like, I mean, I've only like just started properly getting back into it, but I've noticed that if I don't quite focus on me, I focus on like what's happening, like what my music can do in the pubs and stuff. I find that like has that resonates with people a wee bit better, because everybody's like been to a pub on a Saturday night when it's a wee bit jumping, but see, being the one to like get it jumping. I think people like to see that, like when people are watching like a pub that's like bouncing, like, oh, like that's a cool pub, like that looks like a good atmosphere, do you know what I mean? So I've now tried to like turn it around and focus on like other people rather than like just a video of me singing, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're trying to cater to the audience and get them going. What type of music do you like playing? Like what's your...
When people ask me my genre, I say people pleasers, because it's literally everything. Like it's everything from like your old music that your grandpa would have listened to the modern day stuff that's out right now, a wee bit of country, like a wee bit of everything. Like there's no specific genre, and there's not even a genre that I prefer. I love singing all of it. It's just what fits. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, get that. Totally get that. What about you? What's your favourite genre to play?
Do you know what? Like a bit like you're saying, I try and leave my opinion out of things and try and just appreciate every genre. And I know it's a safe answer, right? But like, I was actually talking to a few former colleagues at RCS, like classical students. What we're talking about is like in those environments, people are like, you have to pick a side. You have to be like die hard classical. You have to be die hard pop, and like, there's no shame in learning everything.
Aye.
You know, like. That just is what makes music so appealing. There's so many different forms of it. I mean, imagine you were only allowed one weather for the rest of your life. You're like, you know.
That's such a good way to put it. Like,
and imagine you were only allowed one food for the rest of your life.
That is true.
Which segues on to
that was
if
very
you could only
smooth.
have one food for your life, what song would it be, Matthew?
Yeah.
So sorry, say that again.
If you could only have one food for the rest of your life, what song would
I
it be?
actually had this conversation with my mum last night. I love toast.
Because
I don't know. Just do.
What's the song for toast?
Yeah.
Well, it's a what? Okay, so this is a surprise.
So Matthew
topic for
has
today.
synesthesia
There you
for
go.
anyone that doesn't know.
Yeah. So synesthesia is
Synesthesia is when all your senses are joined. So basically, it might sound a bit trippy, but like you see sound, hear colours, taste words, and it's very helpful in music because if you hear a certain key, then you correlate it with a colour. So if I was to sing an F and then that might have been an F. No, you put me on the phone. But like it's basically there.
Have you ever seen Kung Fu Panda?
Sorry. But if I was to just see I know that's blue, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can see the sound, and that's why like the pitch is quite good. And it's helpful for that kind of things, but it also has funky things like you taste words. So
You
if
can't conversate over dinner because
no,
you're.
I can't. That I've never been on a date with a girl where I'm out having like dinner because I just think it'd be so awkward.
Yeah.
You'd be like, what did you say? What did
Oh,
you what?
constantly. Yeah. So if I have things like milk, I drink milk, I taste Sonic the Hedgehog.
For real?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I have a beef burger, it's Mickey Mouse.
Okay.
If I have,
I don't think that's specific to everyone with synesthesia.
No, it's not.
I think
It is
Matthew
very-
has
it's
quite
highly
an
personal.
extreme form of
well,
it.
I've never met anyone else with it. I've met people with forms of it
Yeah.
that claim to have, but like when I tell them about my experience with like the words, I've never met anyone with that.
Explain how you see people in colour because I think that can help clarify it for people that
Yeah.
don't know what
Admittedly,
it is.
this is kind of dulled a little bit as I've got older, but it's like certain colours have certain qualities in a way. So like if someone is purple, it means they're kind of, and it's more of a feminine colour. You're purple, by the way, but that's good. Purple's brilliant. You're kind of purple. You're a bit of a blend, right? But I don't want to like go into every single colour, right? But like purple's like an introspective colour. Someone that's a bit of a deep thinker, thinks before they say things. And pink is more like the extrovert girl. That's more like, yeah, let's go party kind of thing. Yellow is someone that like is good at something. They know they're good, kind of like cocky.
Right.
Green is someone that is like really good pather, just like more of a masculine colour, to be honest. It's like it's a guy, but he's a good guy, like someone that you'd just go out for a pint with, like you're laughing with. Red is obviously kind of like aggressive, like fighter, and blue is my favourite. I don't know what it means. I correlated with me, but that could mean anything.
You don't know what you mean?
No. But that's weird. Like I try and put blue to something. I'm like I don't know.
What colour is Kiera?
Kiera is a bit of a blend between pink, yellow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
baby
a party
blue.
gal. I'm the opposite of a party
I know
gal.
it's maybe because like when
I'm
you were
not an
younger,
extrovert.
maybe now, but like I got
At
that
college,
vibe.
yeah.
My introduction to you was like you
I
were
do
an
specifically
extreme.
remember being a yellow, but I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah, well, but that's the thing. They can change over time because you're not who you were then.
Yeah.
You were more yellow then. You're still the same.
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
good.
I don't
That's
change.
good.
But it's interesting that you kind of see it like as masculine and feminine. Like it's interesting. I have feminine,
Yeah.
attributes as a person, so it's an interesting sort of example to show that like even though we typically associate certain characteristics with a certain gender, it doesn't always need to be the case
Mhm.
No.
because I'm a guy.
I personally think that you need
So-
both, but there needs to be balance. I think every man and girl should have a balance between masculine and feminine qualities. I think you'll either be one or the other predominantly. Now, I don't have any proof of this, right? Like, part of the condition, and I don't know if I have this, I think I do. People have said that I do, right? But it's called mirror touch, part of the
I remember
synesthesia
this,
condition,
yeah.
right? Now, I think I have it. My family think I have it. Like,
Absolutely, because anytime I've talked to you about something a wee bit negative, we've both ended up crying. Like you definitely have.
yeah, well, it's
So
possible.
what is it?
It's like I don't know how to best explain it, but it's like either your emotions are enhanced or it's like you feel the very clinical explanation is like you feel the same sensation. So if you were to put like and stroke your cheek, I would feel something-ish. That it's not like voodoo where you feel it dead on, but That is what it is.
Okay.
I think it's a lot to do with empathy as well.
Right, but
like
that's
whenever
the second part
you
of it.
feel what other people are feeling,
Yeah.
very much. So,
Right.
do you know what I mean?
But that is the thing, and I don't know if that's just me being a very kind of like sentimental, emotional person, or if that's like part of the condition that, because they do say that it can affect your emotions and make things more intense.
Yeah.
So in that regard, it's widely believed that I think it's widely believed, I think I've got it, but I don't know for certain. Like,
Have
I
you
know
had like a diagnosis for synesthesia? Oh, have you?
yeah.
Right.
So that's why I'm not making it up. Like I did go
Yeah.
to the doctors, and like there was a time when they were like, "Okay, so you're not autistic. You don't have Asperger's. It's not like it lends. It's not quite ADHD. It's its own thing, but it's related.
It's just
I suppose.
neurodivergent, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like,
I'd fall under neurodivergent, but I'm not. It's like a cousin of that.
yeah.
It's a different.
I mean, like I have dyslexia, and that's neurodivergent. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
it's
it's a
technically-
spectrum. Like
It's
there's
such a spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah. With
But
lots of
I
colours.
think that's see one of the things you say is like you feel the need to hide that as you're younger,
yeah.
and I still feel that. Like
I know. How would you explain to people in high school that like chips are happy birthday? Like,
Yeah.
honestly, like I've got most of my family don't know about it.
Well, they're gonna know now.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. Like, it can naturally come out when you're in these kind of places with like lifelong
Yeah.
pals that you say, right, we've had these conversations.
I always find it so interesting, and I feel like your synesthesia can help shed light on things for me. Like sometimes we'll be like discussing something, and you'll like know the color of it, and I'm like, yeah, that is that color. Like that is like, and the things that come with it that you relate it to. Do you know what I mean? Like,
But it could be because we're all slightly neurodivergent.
Yeah.
But that's not a bad thing. It's like we have the ability to see things out with like conventional, or maybe
Yeah.
I'm just trying to
Yeah,
make
you can,
ourselves feel better.
you
But like,
can, if you're it's any different at all, it's like a superpower, and that's how I don't entirely understand how someone could ever negatively look at something like synesthesia. Because I just always thought it was so cool.
yeah,
it is. I mean,
it's so
like the
interesting.
scatterbrained element of it doesn't help, and sometimes it can make you like when there's so much going on in a room, like there's music playing, and like if you're trying to eat and small talk, like it can be a bit like but outside of that, I think like the areas in which it's really good outshadows the
Yeah.
I think that's a pure musician trait as well. I think like there's a lot of musicians out there that are neurodivergent in some ways, have got like our brains are just wired a wee bit differently, and they like my partner does videography, like so he's a creative, like, and it's like people that are in that creative industry and have that like creative gene. We're just wired a bit different, aren't we? Like we're just.
You see, one of the
bit,
things I
For
think
sure.
is healthy to talk about this because we're all in the same room, we know each other, and we've like worked along, like we know each other's strengths and weaknesses at this point. But one of the things that I've been very careful not to do is like use it as a badge and say like this is my reason why I
Yeah.
can't do such and such. I think you have to say what objectively all of our conditions kind of like they objectively do. So for like me, like I like see the sound which helps with such and such.
Yeah.
With you, like your dyslexia can make you more creative, and it's like
See patterns that
but
aren't
like
there.
when there's weaknesses, you don't hold on to them and make it your reason not to try things.
Yeah.
Like
I remember when I got my dyslexia diagnosis, and I was like, my parents didn't really know what that was at the time. I was quite young, and my dad said to me like, it doesn't change anything. It just means that you need to work a wee bit harder than everyone else. And that stuck with me. And at the time, my mum was like, no, it doesn't mean that. Like, she's wired differently. But that stuck with me, like,
I
throughout
think
everything.
he's right.
And, like,
Yeah.
especially in university as well, because obviously we're, like, as creatives, we don't know what it's like writing essays and stuff, just isn't our forte. Like, it's just not something that I'm specifically wired to do. But, like, that stuck with me. Like, we just need to work a wee bit harder at the things that we find a wee bit challenging. Do you know what I mean?
But at the same time, as you say, see patterns that other people don't see,
Yeah.
maybe, or see a colour, or smell a person.
What
Smell
word?
a person? No, everyone can do
Yeah,
that.
what is it you smell? What is it you smell?
Well, it's very much linked with the taste. So
Oh,
it's like
yeah,
if you
okay.
taste
Aye.
what you smell it too.
Yeah. So
which
it is a
quite weird to
superpower.
say.
We're super.
Can you tell me what one word smells like?
Right.
Well, just tell me a couple of words and what they smell like. I'm so curious.
Well, it's
I don't
quite
think we've
funny.
ever went into that aspect of your synesthesia.
No, okay, right. Well, it's very similar to taste. So, like, if I was eating a pizza or smelling a pizza, I would taste the word clone trooper.
Right, okay.
You could maybe if you ask about certain foods, I could give you.
Yeah.
I could
I
give
feel like
you.
we should get a couple of synesthesia people in the room and have
Oh
them
my
argue
gosh.
over
If
colours.
you meet
like,
one,
Yes.
let me know. I've never met
Yeah.
someone. But if I'm trying to think, chicken is revenge, or
Oh, that's deep.
or return.
That's ominous.
Do you know where any of it comes from?
I think so. Like a lot of them were made when I was really young,
Mhm.
so those were associations that like I knew a lot of at the time.
Mhm.
But sometimes it's just random. Like I was eating a banana one day, and eventually the word came to me 100 miles per hour, and I'm like, I didn't pick that.
Yeah.
It just happened.
Mm.
But some of them are a bit more predictable. Like an apple is Optimus Prime.
How is that predictable?
Don't know, or like a glass of fresh.
Because that's what you think of when
Yeah,
you eat an
obviously,
apple.
yeah.
Or if I was eating
Duh.
what's it called? If I was having like diluting orange, it would be Super Mario.
There's a theme.
But
There's
the
a
colour,
theme.
like, that feels wrong for me because Super Mario is like red, is he not?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do like. I
And
say,
that's orange.
Yeah.
it's
Does that not
like-
mesh up a bit?
Yeah, very much. I failed Nat 5 maths for that reason. It was like 5 plus 8. This is the example I always use. And my maths is terrible, and I've practiced the answer, which is why I use the example. But so 5 plus 3 equals 8. Like, say that was a sum. Okay, so the 5 is a baby blue. The plus is like a turquoise, which is kind of baby blue, but it's like not. And then 3 is yellow, equals is kind of red, and then 8 is purple-ish, pink. But that really annoys me because blue and yellow should make green. Right, so like things like that in maths really annoyed me because there was just colours flying about the place, and
They didn't match up.
yeah.
I
But-
really feel for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Only
Do
being
you
slightly
find daily?
different.
Is there anything that's like a daily? I mean, I know you struggle to like
Yeah.
speak while eating because your mind's like elsewhere. But is there anything else that's like an actual daily struggle?
I don't know. I mean, I guess in situations, I try like one of the things I think I'm terrible at, so I never let it get to this stage. Is like, see if I'm angry, I feel like I lose all ability to articulate myself.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys get like that as well, but for me, like I just can't articulate it. So I never try and get angry
Yeah.
because I just feel as if I just like I don't.
Why? How do you? Why? What do you mean? You feel like you can't articulate yourself? Does that relate to the synesthesia? Is it that?
Well,
that's-
I don't know. I think that's the thing. Like, and I don't even feel the most qualified to speak on it because it's like this big mysterious thing that you don't always have answers for, and it's also quite anecdotal as well. But it's the emotional component. I'm like, how much is that just synesthesia enhancing your emotions, and how much is it just
because you're
you?
experiencing it more intensely.
I think like it makes the synesthesia increases everything and makes it more intense. Like, so you feel, I don't know, you feel arguments deep. I mean, this isn't fact, I just want to say, but like subjectively, it's like you feel things a lot deeper because of like the colours that you see and the words that even the feelings, the vibrations of certain rooms can like correlate to emotions, which I never realised until this conversation. But like it is so.
So with dyslexia, like, is there any? You said that you could notice patterns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Can it do anything else? Like, what's the?
I've never actually really thought about it. In terms of reading music, I used to really struggle with that. When we were at college, I used to struggle with, because I do like singing and guitar, so for guitar, it's, you know what it's like with the 6 strings, like it's not actual written music. So I used to struggle with that aspect of something. But see if I could find the first note on the music, I could like then sing it in my head just by following the patterns of the music. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, I would be sight singing it almost accurate, like maybe slightly out of key, but like I could know exactly where you were going. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I actually
That's
feel
cool.
sorry for you in some ways because we're talking about colours and stuff. And did you say at one point you were colourblind?
I'm colorblind.
Oh
Man.
my gosh, yeah.
So like
sure.
you're the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we struggle with an abundance of colours.
Yeah.
And you are like, I wish I had. Do you want some of mine?
They please. The only colorblind meaning I can see color, but I just get mixed up with like
Right.
colors that are similar to each other. So blue and purple, like red and brown. Sometimes that sort of thing. But the one thing I've got is I can hear, and people have a photographic memory. I've got like an audible memory. You know,
So you
I
can
think we all
remember
have that to an
everything.
extent.
Yeah.
But audiation, I can hear things pretty well. So my relative pitch is very good. You know, That's what I can do.
I would say in most cases, as you get older, relative pitch is actually better than perfect, because like once you've identified the key, you've got total geography. Like
a bit of flexibility if you're used to it in specific key, and you're like, ugh, it's in the wrong key, man. Yeah. So are you still you've written music in the past?
Yeah, I don't really do much anymore, to be honest. I'll dabble here and there, but I've never like released any of my own stuff. Well, I had through college, but like, I never like really dived that deep into it. I think it's because as I was writing it, I was so emotionally attached to it that I struggled to put it out there.
Some
and then
of the
I just
songs that you
kind
put out were gorgeous.
Yeah, and then I just kind of like was like, that's not something that I can like put out there and be like, I'm proud of that, because that was maybe like a sad time. And like you feel it when you hear it, you'll know what it's like. You have that emotional connection to music that's not yours, never mind music that is yours. Do you know what I mean? So like,
so it feels a bit exposing. If it's out there, is it you're consciously worried about, a negative response?
I don't quite think it's the response. I think it's quite like an internal thing. It's like how you feel about it. Like it feels too exposing. Like you can pick what pictures you put on social media. You can pick how you put yourself out there to the world, like with how that comes across. But with music and the stuff that I'd kind of written, it was like, that's mine. Like I don't want that to be out there and be like judged, or people to like it or not like it, or like to even just feel what I'm feeling through that music. Do you know what I mean? It just felt too vulnerable. And I tried and kind of to not go down like the vulnerable route with music, but I just always kind of went that way when I was like focusing on writing it. So I think I just decided that I'm quite good at covers, may as well just stick with that. Do you know what I mean?
Because it can be really exposing, because it is a really personal thing when you're writing music. And then when it's out there, it's like, is that how you felt about your music that you wrote?
No, I just did it to pay the bill. No, I'm kidding.
No, for sure.
I don't know. I had a slightly different approach to a lot of my songs. There was one song I wrote about a girl I had a massive crush on in college, but apart from that, I never really had any connect. Like they were all fictional. Actually, a lot of my songs are kind of like what if, alternate reality. I mean, Learn to Fly is probably my favorite because it's the one that was the first that I ever put out. And The Villain as well. I like those two. Everything I would say is very fictional, and I wrote it in the context of a musical. So like I was quite detached from it when I was writing it.
Yeah, I struggled to do that when I was writing. I struggled to like not make it personal. Do you know what I mean? I think that's
it's so
a talent.
It's
maybe something that could be done more with practice, but I always just find that I couldn't detach myself from it. Do you know what I mean?
I found I don't write a lot of music, but the music that I like myself the most that I write is the stuff that comes from like a personal place.
Yeah.
And when you're feeling it. We tried to write a song one day, and we just sat down, and I'm a bit too perfectionist, so I was a bit like, no, but I need to think of the perfect lyric for this note. And it's like, so it can be.
But like as we were saying earlier, that means that you skip all the dross that I'll probably write.
But they say, it was Ed Sheeran, I think, that said that songwriting is like a dirty pipe, and you just got to run it and run it and run it until it runs clear. Maybe I just didn't get it to run clear, to be honest. But
that's a really good way to put it. I've heard lots of variations of, you just need to do it, and keep doing it, and get rid of the rubbish stuff, and then eventually you'll do something good.
You'll find the diamonds in the coal.
Aye. So you're doing mental health nursing, and you're gigging whenever you can.
Yeah.
And so how is it all going?
Good. Absolutely love it. Like, when I'm doing my gigs and stuff, I've moved over to like mainly doing everything myself now. So for a while I was working with like different agencies and stuff. I think because it took the stress out of like certain things, but 99% of my gigs now are all through myself, which is a pain when you're having to do invoices. You don't know how it is, but I feel like that's something I'm quite proud of, because it's easy to just sign up to an agency, get the gigs, go do the gigs, come home. Doing it your own way, you're like invested in it. That's your name. Do you know what I mean? If you go to the agency gigs and you're maybe having a bit of an off day, they'll just tell you not to come back. But there's no you that they're telling. It's your agent. You never hear it. Do you know what I mean? So you're a bit more like proud of yourself when like you're proud of your work when you go and you do a gig and they got you and then they want to hire you back. Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
Do you know? I just thought of this question just now. See, looking back at college, was there any lessons for both of you, kind of opening up to the room, of like that you feel like stayed with you? You're like, I learned that at college, and it was like a massive part of like the way that you view life now, or is that too deep a question?
I think there was a lot.
Yeah.
There was a lot. I think that thing that we talked about where the lecturer said it's what you do with it, whatever it is that, we're learning in college. Like, the good thing about college was it was quite broad. So there was lots of different things going on at once. So you had the musicians that were more classically inclined, and they would focus on sight reading and classical music pieces and expanding their repertoire. And then you've got singer-songwriters, and they love like jamming with other musicians, and you've got even just performers, session musicians that love just sitting down and just getting a song and trying to like replicate it as much as they can. So there was so much going on, and I think that the best advice from that lecturer of saying you need to do with it what you want and what you can do is we made it our own sort of thing. So for me, it was getting to perform more, and then improving my sort of session musician skills, being able to sit down in a group of people and just work things out and improvise and stuff like that. And definitely a chance to work on my sight reading and stuff like that.
Well, you definitely became like a fantastic team leader throughout college.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, it was good fun. I think we all we got on really well jamming
No
together.
one would ever argue as you, like, see if you were assigned the team leader, no one would ever argue with that.
No, because I would,
I remember being stressed in James's bands as well because he is a perfectionist.
Yeah,
to be like,
for sure. That's the flip side.
I would get I'd like miss a line and you could see him, and I was like, it's coming for me.
Excuse me. It's still like that to this day. I am trying to improve because it's not about perfection. But yeah,
I don't know. I don't think you're particularly harsh. I think you can tell that the mistake bothers you deeply, but like I don't think you take it. I don't think you would ever take it out on the person, but you would just be like, "Oh, see that? Oh, what a mistake."
What about you? Any lessons coming to you?
I think just learning to be more confident. And I know that's maybe a bit cliche because I feel like I was just born with confidence, like in terms of music. But learning to like go out there and like do what you want to do for the sake of doing it because you want to do it, not just doing it because it's like what other people want you to do. And I only started getting into the pub gigs when I was in college because I just turned 18 when we were in college. And see, going out to pubs when people were drinking and talking and like not paying attention to you, I remember finding that quite like, oh my god, they think I'm rubbish because they're just drinking their pints and they're not actually listening to you. But like college gave me the chance to be like, I'm just here because I enjoy what I'm doing and I know what I'm doing now. So if like, and people still come up to you when they are sitting having their pints and chatting. Not everybody has to be sitting watching you straight on the way that they are like at a college gig or like in a classroom. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've also like definitely made friends for life. Like one of my friends from college is my daughter's godmother now. Do you know what I mean? So that's like,
that's awesome.
It's definitely connections that I'll never forget.
For sure. And you're because you're in a room with, as you said, it's one of the first times that a lot of people experience other people that are into the same things as you and that can do the same things and want to get better. What about you?
Bouncing off musicians was amazing. Like I don't think I've ever bounced off anyone the way that I've bounced off Matthew in terms of like.
For sure. Yeah.
Music, you know what I mean? Honestly.
You two would do covers.
We did. We have like the legendary now.
But my dad still talks about them. Like.
Well, we made a few. I wish we made more actually, seeing how long they've lasted.
I think if we were to go back onto like old phones or SD cards, we would find stuff because we used to mess about a lot, but we just never really posted it.
One of the ones that actually didn't go ultra viral. But I say that like with such venom, don't I? But see that one. Everyone I ever wanted, everything I need.
Oh,
I really like that. I don't even know what the name of the song was, but I remember that was a nice memory.
Beautiful to Me, it's a country song, I think. I can't remember who sings it now, but oh my gosh, that's a blast from the past. I'm like, I'm going to listen to that on the way home now. Like,
yeah.
Well, actually,
we used to do raps and everything.
Oh,
like.
it was so funny.
Oh, yeah,
you did. Because
you would rap.
Well, like not in any way like professionally. We would just mess about. But no, we did used to do some cool stuff.
To answer your question, actually, I'm changing my answer. Right, I did have a very clinical answer, but given how emotional everyone's been, and I feel like since we're on an ultra respective, I wouldn't actually say. But I know you're probably going to slag me for this answer. But I remember at the start of college, you weren't actually there. It was you. You had been there. There was someone I remember I really liked at the time, and I remember like Like you take the objectivity out of these things and you look at it from a completely subjective point of view. I remember being a 17-year-old, just really, really shy and very kind of like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing around anything. Like, what is a woman? How do I talk to that kind of thing? Like, do you know what I mean? And I remember like just being completely, oh my God, I don't know how to talk. And then not being brave enough to try. And then what happened was like you had to watch her through a relationship all through that, like, and I was like, oh no, this is like very painful. But the one lesson that I kind of learned from that, and it's just stayed with me, because I kind of feel it's on topic, is like I would never let that happen again. See, if I'm passionate about something, you go for it.
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful that it happened at a time when I was young, 17. Like, because nothing really means it. Like, see, at 17, that's where life begins. It's like the tutorial almost.
But feelings are also so much more intense.
They are,
when
but
you're
you
that
can
age.
look back on it and say, like, I really appreciate those lessons at that point in time.
Yeah.
Because, like, when you fail by actually doing things, there's a lesson, there's data to gather from it. But I think there's something about just realising, like, in such a low stakes environment, how like hot you can be over things that don't matter. So like, imagine things do matter. How much will that stay with you if you lose like your dream job in like 20 years time? Like when you're a kid, you know. And I think that lesson to me was just like, always go for things you're passionate about. Because I'm not saying it like I don't regret it now. Obviously, like life has moved on and stuff like that. But I remember at that point in time being like, I'm never letting that happen again. And I think.
Never not being able to speak to a person.
No, that, but never like trying for something I'm passionate about.
Oh, right. So getting over the fear.
Yes,
Getting
exactly.
through the nerves,
because like if
pushing through anyway.
you can apply that to anything in life. See, if there's a job that you really want and someone else gets it, you'd be raging. If there's a band you want to join, or if there's a podcast that you want to set up, right? Or like there's a song you want to write and someone nicks it and steals the lyric, and you're like, grr. You know, I think there's something to be said for just doing the thing. And I'm not saying that experience was the sole reason for that, but like I think it was part of the reason why I felt so passionate to like try everything. Because like when you actually, by contrast, achieve the highs of it, because I remember like the day that I got into the uni I wanted to get into, there was no bigger like like
I remember it. I actually remember it so clearly. Like the day that you got your acceptance.
I'm actually really grateful because you took a picture of that.
Of you in a ball on the stage. Like,
but that's the highs of life, right?
And you literally just walked in, said your news, and then just went into the fetal position, and that was us for about an hour and a half.
You could actually caption that picture anything, and it could be like.
I'm saving that till the day you make it big, Matthew. That's there for.
Well, we'll all be in the same room and we'll remember this conversation. But I think that age, like, there's so many lessons to learn that really. I think that's why Clyde is some of the best learning experiences ever, because it teaches you lessons that just stick with you through life.
Yeah.
You know, and you never really leave, I suppose.
Well, you had to be brave to overcome nerves and fear. You know, and that's what your lesson was, and you're going to do. And I'm sure that once you do that, you can then feel pride and feel good about yourself.
Of course, yeah.
So on the topic of pride, what's something that you... I'm trying to segue.
Honestly,
that was so good. That was brilliant. That was brilliant. That was really, really good.
I'm literally trying to segue. No, because you did mention like things that you were proud of before. So like, is there anything else that's like sticking out?
I brought up because that was one of the questions that we said that we were going to address, and I sat and I thought about it, and like, you think when you think, oh, something that you're proud of, you're like, oh, it's the biggest crowd I've played to, or it's when I've done this or when I've done that. But actually, one of the things I'm most proud of, like in my career, is walking away from a situation that could have really, really benefited me, like could have made me something in music, because it didn't stand by my morals and values. Like, I think that's such a hard thing to do in any route, do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So, like, without getting too deep, long story short, when I was quite young, I was working with a promoter, and it was a difficult one. So like, I was working alongside him and he was great. He was opening up all these doors for me, giving me all these like crazy opportunities. And then things just started getting a little bit like strange. Like, he was like a middle-aged man. I was like a young like 15, 16-year-old girl. And he like done some cool things. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this man is like, he can put me places, he can like do things for me. And then when I realised that actually like, this wasn't a really nice person, like he was taking advantage of people, and it was horrendous, and it was really sad to see. And he was like offering me like these crazy opportunities if I was willing to do like these things for him, and I was just like, this isn't right. Like, I knew even being young, like, that this wasn't right. And I think it's hard as well because there'll be people out there that have maybe done things that they're like ashamed of or not proud of to get to where they want to be. Do you know what I mean? But I walked away from that situation, and that was really hard. And I think, I mean, like, you might have something to add to this, like being a female in the music industry, there's a lot of people out there that would take advantage of that. And obviously I was quite young at the time, and it was really difficult to step away from that because I was getting promised, like, oh, if you do this, then like we can maybe discuss getting you on tour with such and such, and like you can get a support slot at this venue and things. And like, that's hard to turn up when you're like young and you're really, really pushing to get somewhere. But the minute I kind of realised what was going on and that I wasn't the only kind of young person that he was doing this to, and I never done anything that like doesn't align with my morals and values, I would always just like palm them off. But I think it's something that was so dangerous in the music industry, and I'm proud that I walked away from that. And I think it's really important that anyone who's experienced like a similar thing, or maybe has been down that road before, like, people reach out and people discuss it, because it's something that's not kind of discussed. It's something that's like pushed under the carpet. And see, when there's these people that don't have their morals and values aligned, and that they have money and they have these opportunities to give to people, it's such a dangerous position to be in. Like, and I think I'll forever be proud of that, and I still look out for that name on gig venues, on music, on tour organisers. Like, I'll look for that name and make sure that they've got nothing to do with that before I like kind of invest in that. Yeah.
I mean, it must have took a lot of strength to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like, did you have support around you when you were making that decision?
Yeah, I was totally open with people around me about what was going on, and everyone was like, that's wrong. Like, it was like, let's label it what it is. It was grooming. Like, they were trying to groom me, and I was obviously not like, as much as when I was a young girl, I had my head screwed on, so I never like allowed anything that like didn't align with my morals and values. But at that time, it's like, but they're going to do this for me. Like, I'll just pretend. I'll just like I'll just like thingy, and then I can pull out with it. I'm so glad that I did have the support network to like explain to me. And then I found out, like, the kind of be all and end all that like finished it all was that I found out that I wasn't the only person that this was happening to. Like, I was kind of promised these opportunities that some of them did come to fruition. So obviously it's quite hard to be like, is this true, is this not, when things are coming to fruition. Do you know what I mean? Before, obviously, anything was not within my kind of comfortability, my comfort zone. So it was brave, but I also think it was the right thing to do, and it's not something that should ever like anyone should have to experience when they're trying to just do something that they love. Do you know what I mean?
And when someone who is, you know, stood in front of you saying, I can make your dreams come true, I can do X, Y, Z, there's a power dynamic there. And if there's a big age gap, and a lot of people that are musical and stuff, you know, they're trying things out at a young age. And even just the example of you being 13, 14 and going into the garage to play a gig. Like, you start young. And if you're an athlete, you start young as an athlete and you train. You know, so there's lots of young people, young women especially, going around, as you say, in the industry, and it's still happening. But people need to be aware there is a power dynamic, and it needs to be tackled responsibly. And things that, you know, misbehavior needs to be called out.
100%.
And things need to be done. I mean, are there any support networks for musicians or artists?
I think there is some out there. I think the power dynamic really comes into play with it as well, because the people that can do this, they've got money, they've got power, they've got opportunities, they've got people. The victims of it, obviously I don't class myself as a victim, because like I'm not, but there is people out there that are victims to it. I've met people that are victims to it, and I don't know if there is enough support out there or awareness. Like, I don't think people are aware that this is going on, like, and it's happening on like your wee Glasgow music scene. It's not just happening in like Hollywood, like, because it is quite well documented, like things going on like in these kind of big industries, but it's happening in the small industries, and I think there does need to be like a bit of attention brought to it, and people just need to be aware of it, because you don't like, I had never like kind of heard of that, and obviously like I was open about it at the time, so it was labelled what it is at the time for me, rather than it being like looking back and it's like, oh, that's actually is what that is, which I think some people might experience. Like, they're like, oh, they'll do something to get an opportunity, and then they look back and they're like, that wasn't an opportunity for me. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? I'm trying to like not get too deep about it, but...
And one of the things that it strikes me that, see, even if people did make the choice to give into like power, like as such, who's to say that they would have fulfilled their end of the bargain?
I suppose that's what you're saying. Like, you were seeing some things coming to fruition, which must have made it even more difficult for you to say no, because you're thinking to yourself, this is look, it is happening. It's right. That could be me. Oh, so it took a lot of strength to be able to be no and stick to your morals.
You're a lot wiser than your years at that point in time.
You need to be able to sleep.
But I was lucky because I was a wee bit more like, kind of streetwise and like aware of these kind of things. But I know that there was people out there who didn't. And when it kind of all came to a head and all contact was like tied with this person, it was because it came to light that there was like multiple other people, and multiple people like went to the police station with like lots of evidence, and nothing got done of it, which is so like difficult to see as well. Like, nothing that ever like happened with me was ever illegal. Like, there was nothing, but there was evidence there to support other people's claims, and nothing was ever like taken into consideration. And it's sad because as a young girl, it's like you should be supported for that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And there wasn't much.
And that is the thing, like, how do you stop it if there's no punishment for things like that?
That person is still about, is still in the music industry.
When they know how to
operate
operate in the dark side, like, what is the answer? Like,
so is that situation that you experienced, is that like affected your trying to go about, get gigs?
It's definitely affected my view on certain things, and like, I'm so happy where I am in music, and like I wouldn't have it any other way. But I had these big dreams to move to London, and like I think that's one of the things that put me away from it, was because I was like, I found one of the kind of bad guys. How many others are out there? Do you know what I mean? Like, I was a young female. I was a young female trying to break through in an industry that I had knew nothing about. Like, that my parents knew nothing about. My family were like, we don't have musicians in the family. Like, until I kind of spoke out about it, they weren't aware of these kind of things. Do you know what I mean? Even like, I remember like sneaking into like open mics because I was like too young to get in, and it's like, you don't actually realise what you're opening yourself up to. Like, that's against the law. You shouldn't be in a pub under the age of 18, 16, whatever the license is. And I remember doing things like that and being like, oh, like I'm doing it, like I'm pushing my way through, but actually like there's some fucking bad people out there. Like, you got to be so careful, like in any aspect of it. I think it did kind of just open me up to be aware of what was going on. Do you know what I mean? Be aware of like not taking everything people say like as gospel. Do you know what I mean? And it will have happened to you guys. I'm sure you have been offered gigs like, and they're like, oh yeah, we just need to work out this or whatever. Well, like, there's no bad intent behind it. Someone just promises you a dream and then it doesn't come true. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I wouldn't necessarily
I'm just
like,
more aware
personally
of that
speaking, I don't think that's happened with gigs, but definitely projects.
Yeah.
Where I've been like, oh yeah, I want to do this, and then you get someone that's like, great, we can make it happen, and I've lost a lot of money because I invested in things that people promised that they would come to be, and then so like the sharks out there.
Yeah, I think I was just aware of that a wee bit earlier because of that. So if anything, I think it's like made me just a bit tougher to realise like, don't take everything as gospel, like fact check and read up and
trust your gut.
Yeah, trust your gut's a big one as well.
And you should be proud of yourself for that.
Yeah.
In fact, like, a lot of the times when that question's asked, it tends to be like, I did a gig that I really liked one time. But, you know, your answer's a lot more kind of, I don't want to say like not realistic, but a lot more kind of like
meaningful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because when I thought about that question, I was like, oh, it could be this gig, or it could be that gig, or it could be that project. But actually now, like, I am so proud of myself from walking away from that situation and for like shedding light upon that
Can you
at the time.
Imagine how different your life might have been.
Like, obviously, once that kind of came to fruition and like me and other girls like put a stop to it, the name was out there for a wee while. Obviously they are still kicking about, but the name was out there for a wee while and everyone was aware, and I was like, I'm so glad, because like there's potential victims out there that it was nipped in the bud and they kind of stayed away because everyone kind of like brought it to light. It was a male musician that I was friends with at the time that had posted a post on Facebook about this specific person, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that was when the penny dropped. Like, this isn't like this isn't like innocent, someone just like having a joke with me to put me somewhere. This person's dangerous.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Your gut. It was a validation of your gut feeling.
Yeah, and I think it's so important that like you can be proud of that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? You can be proud to walk away from a situation that didn't benefit you and wasn't going to benefit you and wasn't positive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the takeaway: speak to people around you.
Definitely. Be open about stuff. Like if you're interested in something, like do your research. Like you do not need to put up with shite to get where you want to be. Like you do not need to put up with anything. Like you have the talent and the power and the drive to do it yourself. You do not need to put up with anyone else's bullshit to get you where you want to be. Do you know what I mean?
I love that. That's so good. Oh my gosh.
Well, that's perfect. Do you know, that is a perfect way to end the episode. So, like, I've got one more question for you. So, where can people find you? Like, for your music pages?
I'm mainly on Instagram at the minute, kiera.marks.music. I'm starting back up my TikTok. My YouTube's ancient, but they're all the same. Kiera Marks Music, so I'm on there.
Well, It's been probably the most deep chat that we've had.
That happens
I don't
when
think
we
I've
get
ever,
together.
I don't think I've
we
ever
get
been
deep.
so vulnerable in a podcast.
I know. We'll need to invest in tissues or something for next time.
Exactly. But
No,
well, thank you so
for
much.
coming in.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for
awesome.
having me,
Thank you.
guys. Bye.